baptism is, Jesus modeled it for us in coming forward and saying, let it be permitted for, John the Baptist was kind of shocked. Jesus is coming to be baptized, and he said, permit it to be so to fulfill all righteousness. Baptism in the Hebrew world was very common. Before you actually would approach the temple, they had these mikvahs and where you dip in and the ritual cleansing. And so someone, when they were baptized, it was not an uncommon thing of just a representation of being cleansed. In the Christian world, kind of what happened was John the Baptist came on the scene and began baptizing people all over the place, almost for a new consecration. And as a result, Jesus came forward in that same sense, modeled it for us, and then essentially when he sent us on commission, he said, go into all the world and proclaim the gospel, teaching them, baptizing them, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to observe all things that I've commanded you. Well, that's essentially why Christians are to get baptized. We're doing it in obedience to the Lord. But what is it? Well, Paul later in 1 Corinthians 6 gives us a beautiful picture of baptism when he says it's a type of burial, that you're identifying with Christ in his death and burial and resurrection. Because when you're going under the water, it's kind of a symbol of burial, and coming up out of the water, you're a symbol of resurrection. Now, Peter tells us that corresponding to this, that baptism now saves you, but not the removal of dirt from the flesh. That is, people make a big thing out of baptism, oftentimes those of the Church of Christ denomination and others that really think, you cannot be saved unless you're baptized. The Bible says, he who is believed and is baptized shall be saved, but he who has not believed shall be condemned. It doesn't say he who has not been baptized is condemned. The point is that true spiritual baptism, I believe, is what he's referring to. That it's an appeal to God for a clean conscience. That the outward picture of getting wet under the water is just an outward symbol of. We do that outward symbol in obedience to the Lord and as a testimony to the world, that we're dead to the world and we're now alive to God. But I believe that even if you were not water baptized, if you got in a car accident after you responded to the gospel, would that mean you wouldn't go to heaven? No, I don't believe so. I think that the point is you've already been baptized because you've appealed to God for a clean conscience. You just didn't have the opportunity to do the outward act of that, which I think every Christian should do at some point in their life. And I think it's an important step. When you believe on the Lord, it would be a great obedient step to be yielded to him in baptism, and I would recommend it for all Christians.